Hello guys, my name is Diego Pacheco and this is another video. So today will not be exactly a slide cast, it's more like a browser cast. So I'm gonna use Chrome and show some stuff that hopefully will gonna be interesting for you. So today I want to talk more about organization or organizational roles and career paths or career frameworks. So there's quite popular nowadays that companies are open up the career frameworks, and it's interesting to see how they structure the roles and how they define the ladders and stuff like that. So I'm gonna basically talk about three companies. So first we're gonna talk about Monzo. Monzo is a digital mobile first bank from UK. They're interesting because they build the whole stack with Go. The second company we're gonna be talking about is Gitlab. GitLab is like a GitHub competitor. They're also pretty famous of using Go. And Dropbox, which also uses Go but uses Rust as well and a bunch of other languages. So let's start with Monzo. So in Monzo, they basically define some things like what's the scope, what is impact, what impact means. Most of these companies they talk about impact. For Monzo case, they've defined that the excellence, or getting stuff done, it's like a discipline, to get business goals forward, and proactively identify opportunities and goals in engineering. So we can prioritize them and definitely getting things done in your team and being affected contributor with your peers. So deliver your things and help others, right? So they gave these definitions for impact. Then there's some definitions about technical skills and behaviors, which is nice. You know, often called soft skills. And this is like a compass, and I like a lot this idea. So it's just to give you some north. It's not exactly a GPS. It's not like super precise, but it's to give you some sort of a direction. And then they go from levels, right? So like they have level one engineer. So they talk about what is the technical skills, like obviously write tests, documentation, and understand concepts and behaviors, which is nice, the soft skills. Um, Leverage, teamwork, be effective with others, effective communication, asking questions to understand, and improve testing and documentation for existing code. I think this part here is important because often that doesn't happen, and I like that sort of a Boy Scout philosophy to always left the place better than you found. Then they go level 2, and you see some a variety of definitions for impact, and you also see technical skills, behavior, and they keep going. All right, so level 3 engineer, and let's keep going here, level 4 senior engineer. As they progress, they have like scope, which is interesting. So engineer here level 1 is a task scope, right? And if you go here to level 3, it's a project or feature scope. Then as you keep proceed going on the ladder, there's level 4 is team or domain, business domain. And then we can see some reference to tech lead, and also the impact also gets bigger. And the behavior, right now, it's different. Now you can see articulate things clearly, risks and technical problems, communicating effectively, in regularly offering contributions to others, helping roadmaps. So the list goes on and on. So this is quite interesting in my point of view. Then level 5 is collective or discipline. That's more like to staff engineer. Staff engineer is something interesting because some companies they have architects, other companies they have staff engineers, and in my point of view, it's sort of the same. But some companies prefer to have staff engineers, and some companies consider staff bigger than or superior than principal. Others consider principal superior than staff, so it depends from company to company. But in this case here, level 5, collective or discipline. You can see highly experienced individual ladder leading to large domain or collective. And then we see leads large strategic complex engineering projects, often across collective boundaries, drives architecture and systems design across multiple squads in collective. So it's really about like staff engineer. Then we can see here technical skills is all about leadership and proving track record of improvements, always improving things, foster quality, understand the context of multiple teams and everything. And the behaviors we see here, stuff like understand product market fit, identify problems, being consulted, challenge what the teams are doing, remain calm when the shit hits the fan, and so many other things. And then we got principal engineer, just company level. So here we see behaviors, think in terms of 3 or 5 years, support hiring, cares about wider business strategy. So here, some companies might see this as sort of a head of architecture, or chief architect might be doing stuff like that. Or principal software architects might be doing things like this as well. A broader impact on the company level. So it's there's level 6, and that's Monzo. So I will not read the whole thing, right? So just give you some insights so you can take a look later on. Then here we have Gitlab. So in Gitlab, they structure per departments. There is development, infrastructure, quality, security, support, and UX. And within the department, there are levels, right? So you might have like intermediate, senior, staff, and principal. And this is what I was mentioned before. Some companies, they consider principal bigger or in a higher level than staff, and others is the other way around. Like staff is bigger than principal. And some others don't call it staff; they call it architect, and architect's the top level, right? So it's how it works. But this really changed from company to company. Other companies, they use the word lead, and that's the top. Other companies even go further, and they have something called distinguished, like you are someone that is highly popular, or made like a big impact on the industry, like Rich Ricky or Martin Fowler, folks like that. And in GitLab, let's go to development here, and then let's get senior. Let's see senior, what we got here. Then we got competencies, which is like values and behaviors. We see more explanations about what to expect about, like deliver work, demonstrate knowledge, suggest solutions. And then we see way more things here, like help others, look to maintain code consistency, provide reviews across many domains, like review PRs and stuff like that. And then there's some sort of alignment with some other principles, like results, efficiency, diversity. So if we click here on results, for instance, I'm gonna go to another page where these values or these traits will be explained in more depth, where here's results, measure results, not hours. So we get some direction on how to behave, and that's pretty cool. And there's links to handbooks and blog posts. GitLab is pretty cool in that sense. Then we see here even more direction, and that's pretty much the formula for all the levels. So if we go, let's go principal here, we see like the same structure, but with different content. Here, like I was explaining, like this sometimes confusion or overlap on the industry between principal, architect, and staff. Here we can even see like the principal, we see architecture evolution as part of it. So really depends how the company want to call it. And here we see the same values, right? So like results here are gonna be the same because the same principle, it doesn't change across roles on the ladder. Um, and that's what I like about Monzo ones. It specifies things a bit more. What happens differently on that specific level, and here's more like a general for all levels, right? Of course, the technical part changes, and there's text for that, but the values and the impact are sort of going on this sort of a vanilla he used it there. And then there is Dropbox, which is pretty cool. They define what's impact as well, and they sort of structure in three fronts like consistency, velocity, and accountability. And then they also go in different levels of impact, which is cool, which is like domain expertise, innovation, product expertise, leadership, and technical leadership and mentorship. And then they have like positions or roles. So they have like engineer, and then for engineer there's levels, QA and then levels, SRE and then levels. They have this machine learning engineer, MLE, security, TPM, technical program manager, sort of. So the company is also called this PMO or just management. And then there's engineering management. And okay, so let's see if we go engineering. We go here level 1. So we have the scope, we have some expected results and direction, and sort of a culture and behaviors that are expected, and that changes for each level, right? So if you go here, top level is principal, then we see resulting sense of impact. So identify, execute significant engineering company-wide opportunities, execute large projects, proactively identify and help focus teams, ownership, have a sense of responsibility, transacted organizational boundaries by tracking holistic view of the company goals, decision making, thoughtful and decisively critical situations, is able to reach right decision despite discrepancies of perspective. So someone that can judge things very well and can aggressively acquire context and help others. Then here there's the direction, sense of agility, innovation strategy. So in sense of innovation, push boundaries to generate, implement breaking through ideas. It demonstrates creativity. It creates environment supporting experimental iterations. A strategy partner with directors. It anticipates challenge. It's proactive. And then we go to culture and everything. So it's very well crafted and very interesting. So that's what I got for today. Will not read all the framework for you. I hope you like it and be able to steal some ideas and also help you to not only structure that in your company, but also help you to learn and develop yourselves. Because with that sort of a guidance, you can see how these companies are doing, and then you can have an idea how to behave and see your weakened spots and work to improve them. So that's it for today. I hope you guys like it. See you next time. Take care. Cheers.